Now, speaking of things going on in Tennessee right now, you know about the riot. I'm sorry, the peaceful, wonderful protest. That's what it's. It's a peaceful, wonderful protest when it's the Democrats leading people in to interrupt legislative procedures, and it's a terrible insurrection, the worst thing ever, when conservative grannies go take pictures in the Capitol Rotunda. That's what happens. So now we're trying to figure out who these people are. There were 3 reps who pushed this nonsense. One of whom is a woman by the name of Gloria Johnson. Gloria Johnson is one of the 3. She's the only one who managed to survive the expulsion vote. She survived it by 1 vote. The other 2 got booted out of the state house, but she survived it by 1 vote because she was slightly less egregious in her behavior on that day. So these are the kind of people who are running the show in New York. Gloria Johnson just recently made the claim that the conservatives in Tennessee are trying to bring back lynching.
It was just a few weeks ago that one of my colleagues in our criminal justice committee, we had a bill. They have a bill to bring back the firing squad and the electric chair. And one of my colleagues said, I think we should bring back hanging by a tree. He literally suggested lynching.
It's happening in Tennessee, by the way. I said it was New York because of this woman's crazy ideas. But no, that's what a Tennessee lawmaker is saying. That's not what lynching is. Lynching is extrajudicial killing by a group of people. Lynching does not always involve hanging. Lynch mobs can lynch people all sorts of different ways. And hanging does not always mean lynching. In fact, most of the time, hanging has not meant lynching. Most of the time, hanging has just been the punishment for a crime meted out by the courts. If a criminal is tried and convicted and then hanged, you wouldn't call that a lynching. That is just the ordinary administration of justice. This woman doesn't know a basic fact about the justice system. And it makes me wonder, how long can we govern ourselves with ignorance this pervasive? How long can we continue this republic of ours when people, and especially our leaders, don't know a thing about anything? They don't know. I'm not saying that they have kind of eccentric ideas or that we would disagree on this. I mean, they just don't know basic facts about anything. They don't know what a man is. They don't know what a woman is. How long can we endure? Our Constitution is great. It's a really nice piece of paper with really nice fancy handwriting on it, but it doesn't mean anything if there are not people to run the government properly. And we have such blithe ignorance in this country, especially among the leadership class. I don't know how much longer we can go on like this. Now, the other person who helped lead the Tennessee riot, a guy named Justin Pearson. Justin Pearson is a preacher, I guess, in addition to being a former politician, a guy who used to have a seat in the State House but now got booted out. Here is the way that Pearson preaches.
Would you mind going ahead and praying with me now, Mother God, Creator God, loving God, Holy God? Take this, your servant made from dust, and connected with the raw materials of stardust to speak in this moment, to say something that brings forward the word you placed into my heart. I accept my unworthiness for such a task as bold as this, and I seek your guidance as you use me and speak through me. To the ancestor preachers who made sermons from hymns, moans, and groans, and spirituals from the bondage of slavery, speak now through this your descendant. To the black women locked out, being abused, tormented, raped, eradicated, and yet born a new and distant future in this country, and to a young colored boy named me, I name you now, my great-grandmother Anna Ruth, my great-grandmother Flossie, my great-grandmother Eveline, my great-grandmother Lavinia.
Yeah, he goes on and on and on. Slam poetry is the death of art. It would seem to be the death of religious worship, and it's now also the death of politics. He opens up, he says, Mother God, these people who insist that we honor their pronouns, their preferred pronouns, they won't honor God's preferred pronouns. They never seem to do that. Why does it matter? Why does it matter what this guy's religious views are? or irreligious views, I guess, in this case. Because, as John Adams told us, the Constitution is built for a moral and religious people. And when he's talking about religion, he's talking about Christianity, not mother god ancestor worship or whatever this guy's talking about, but actual Christianity, not the, what is this place called? The Memphis Unitarian Universalist Meeting House, but Christianity. John Adams spelled that out. He said, the beliefs that animate America are Christian beliefs. The morality that animates America is Christian morality. John Jay said this. The Founding Fathers said this resoundingly. Why is a politician a preacher? I'm not on him because he's a preacher. Of course, government is in the religion business. How and who and what we worship more than anything else forms who we are. If we worship God, we're going to have a godlier, goodlier, better society. If we worship money, we're going to have a materialistic society. If we worship weird sex stuff, we're going to have a lust-convulsed society. If we worship ourselves, we're going to have a very selfish society. In that sermon, he goes on, he talks about how important it is to trans everybody.
They won't have to worry about folks talking about advocating for people to get access to health care who are transgender children. Won't have to worry about the need to end lynching as capital punishment.
Oh, and there it is too. Oh man, the first time all I caught was the need to trans people. And by the way, children, he says. We need to, I'm praying to the mother goddess of the spirit of my ancestors, and that is why we need to chop off the healthy genitals of the little children, and that is why we need to pump them full of cross-sex hormones and sterilize the children because of my religious views, and that is why we need to stop lynching as capital punishment. Lynching cannot be capital punishment by definition. Capital punishment is a part of the judicial system. If a person has a fair trial, a real trial, and is convicted by the civil authority, by the judicial system, and is then killed, that cannot be lynching. By definition, these are the people who are running our states. And this is going to be increasingly the case. This is a young man. He's in his mid to late 20s. It's not his fault that he was poorly educated. It's not his fault that he was raised in some bizarro, pseudo-religious upbringing. It's not his fault that this was how he was formed. It's not his fault, but it is our problem. Our leaders are just so profoundly ignorant. They have no idea. And when all of our leaders have no idea, our country cannot thrive. The Constitution was built for a moral and religious people. I'll add one little extra to that. It was built for people who knew the most basic facts of reality. Okay, the rest of the show continues now. We've got a really important video for Woke Wednesday. This is the Love, Don't Judge, the latest Love, Don't Judge video, in which my producer, Ben Davies, wants to see how long I cannot judge and how long you cannot judge whatever is in this video. Become a member. Use code Knowles, K-N-O-W-L-E-S, at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans.